Last autumn, I happened to discover that my university friend had set up a website, and I weren't super close. But we shared a hobby of motorbikes and would go on tours together sometimes. His site had the usual kind of content, his hobby chat and dire-like entries. Seeing his smiling face still happily riding bikes stirred nostalgia in me. So I sent him a greeting email. Replied right away. He had stayed at our university for further research and was currently working as a teaching assistant at another university in his hometown prefecture Eng, as research professionals in fairly similar fields. Despite nearly 10 years without contact, we immediately reconnected. Exchanging weekend emails over 3 months or so, I got this message from he. By the way, remember Matsuo restaurant? I took a day trip to cities last weekend. And the owner, auntie, still going strong. Had a delicious nostalgic katsu don there. The taste and auntie are just like back then. I teared up eating it. Auntie teared up too, so happy to see me. I talked about you and she remembered you well. Please bring Kimi next time too, and squeeze my hand. Let's go eat katsudon together once it warms up. Matsuo restaurant was near our university, a student hot spot, and I were regulars. I'd heard from others that after the uncle's accident passing shortly before my graduation, the auntie continued running it alone. With memories like that and his influence, I'd started browsing for an affordable used bike to ride again on weekends. But that was the last I heard from he. Being busy with work myself, I figured. Same for him, and didn't think about bikes or the auntie for a while. But 1 month passed, then 2, with no word from he. His site, which updated 3 times a week, also seemed stalled. Concerned, I called his family one day off. The elderly woman who answered wasn't, but his mother. I introduced myself as a university friend. She told me in a low voice, he passed away last month. Shocked, I offered condolences and asked to pay respects. On my next day off, I visited his family home in Prefecture N. His parents were still reeling from the loss of their son. After praying at the altar, I delicately asked how he had died. His silent mother kept gazing down, but after a pause, his father beside her spoke up first. He committed suicide. Covering her face with a handkerchief, his mother repeatedly murmured, "There's no way my boy would do that, no way." His father asked if I had any inkling why. Drawing a blank, I just mutely shook my head. He continued, "Why'd he go to cities? Reminiscing at the end, maybe?" In a daze, I took my leave of the grieving parents and left the house. Sensing something nagging me, I drove straight to cities. Arriving around dusk, I headed not for nostalgia, sightseeing, but straight to my old apartment. The buildings looked identical, unchanged. His apartment in the rear annex too. After walking the area a while, I stood before a certain house. An ordinary home renovated into a first-floor shop. Matsuo restaurant looked exactly the same as ever, but devoid of any current occupants. As I lingered outside, a middle-aged woman emerged from the house across and approached me. Looking askance, she relaxed a bit, hearing I'd lived nearby in university. Lurking around there this late, I thought you another gawker. Huh. You didn't know? Last month a man hanged himself in that place. Who knows why he'd break into an empty house to hang himself? But exactly 1 year before, the auntie there hanged herself too. People here whisper, something lured them in. The woman kept chatting, but I don't recall my response, or how I tore myself away. I was out sick with fever for 2 days after.